Hey guys, this is Xavier Foley, and I have a interesting story to tell you. This story is about a difficult experience I had before a recital. Um, and just so you know, nobody was at fault for what happened. Nobody's in trouble. Nobody did anything wrong but me. Okay, it was all my fault. But during the time, I didn't know how to think and made some decisions that led to a not so good beginning of a recital. Okay. The rest was fine. It was just the beginning that could use a little bit of tweaking. Okay. So here's what happened. Now, first of all, you're probably wondering why we are outside in this dinner table with fruits and cheeses and meats. Well, because the setting that the story took place was actually at a dinner party. Okay. So there was a dinner party before the concert with key people who made the concert happen. And so they invited me, and I graciously, knowing me, uh, if there's food there, I am 100% there. Okay. I love food. I love good food, especially. So I'm totally there. We're at this dinner party. I'm the guest there, and we have a bunch of people who are very, very important in the music industry. I won't name names, but they're very, very important. Okay, so I gotta be respectful. Okay, I gotta be respectful. Okay, so here's what went down. Okay, so we started talking about things music related, of course. And then one thing leads to another about other people's performances, which is fine, cool. Let's talk about other people's performances before my performance. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, yeah. So we talk about somebody else's performance and how it was one of the greatest performances of all time. And not only that, that's not what got me. Okay, I don't look. It's fine. They are greatest performances of all time. I've seen them. They're great. That's not what throws me off. What threw me off was about the instrument that we were talking about. Okay, so this instrument, apparently from this person, was the golden cello that sounded like the voice of God. And I'm thinking like, my instrument that I use, I don't know if I can relate to that, because I love my instrument. It gets me to where it got me to where I needed to be, as far as career wise. It sounds good. It was made by a very good maker, Romano Solano. I love his instruments. Everything. Okay, my instrument's great. It's fine. It's fantastic. But I wouldn't say it's the voice of God. What does that even mean, man? So they spent like 15 minutes talking about this golden cello that sounded like God. And they were like, it wasn't like just a normal conversation. They were like, oh, this instrument is so good. And then they're like, oh, yes, it's so good. And I'm like, my instrument is just an instrument. It doesn't sound like, Jesus or like, I don't know. I just wasn't, I wasn't vibing. Is that the right word to say? I wasn't vibing. I just wasn't, I wasn't buying into it. So basically what was going on was I was jealous because they were spending all this time talking about this other person's golden cello that was the voice of God, and there was no talk about my instrument whatsoever. Nobody asked about my instrument and if it sounded like God or not, okay? So what, me being me, I tried to interject and try to get some attention because I felt lonely. I was in the corner like, so I was like, that's funny you talk about this, golden cello thing, but my instrument, I don't know. and I was trying to compare my instrument to cars. So I was like, my instrument's not like a Lamborghini or Bugatti. It's like I don't know, a Toyota or something. And by the way, you might be saying, okay, Toyota's cheap. My instrument's not like cheap. It's good. It's reliable. It's a good one, but it's not a Lamborghini. It's not $500,000. Nowhere close to $500,000 as this golden cello was. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from there, and that's what I tried to do. I was like, yeah, y'all talking about this Lamborghini instrument and this Bugatti instrument and this Porsche, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just have this normal thing, and they're looking at me like, mm-hmm. So this golden cello, just like, dang it, man. I tried to interject. It didn't work. So what happened was I got this idea in my head that I needed to sound like this golden cello. And so right after the dinner party, I'm backstage getting ready to play at this recital. And I'm thinking, I need to sound like this golden cello. I need to sound like the voice of God. I need to, I kept repeating those thoughts in my head over and over and over. Woo! And then a recital starts. And the first piece I play is the Bach cello suite, number 1. And I start with the prelude, the one that goes like da da dee da dee do dee do 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 dee da dee do dee do da do dee do. You get the idea. So when I'm getting ready to play, I come out on stage, everybody's clapping, yay. It's live streamed, oh my gosh. And I take a bow, and while I'm bowing, I'm like, I gotta sound like the golden cello. I gotta sound like the voice of God. I gotta sound like the voice. So that's happening. And when I play my first note, I'm just like, remember, you gotta sound like the golden cello, Xavier, or else nobody's gonna like your performance. So the first note happens, and I'm like hyperventilating. My blood pressure's up. The veins are popping out of my head and neck. I'm shaking because I want to live up to the expectation of sounding like the voice of God. Okay, so I start. I'm like, da dee da dee da dee da da dee da dee da dee da da, and it wasn't the best prelude to the first cello suite. But after the prelude, the Allemande, I finally realized, this isn't going anywhere. Me trying to live up to the expectation of this and that. What's really happening is just taking my focus away from the music. And on my online lessons, I make that, no pun intended, the focus point, which is to focus on the music making. Okay, all these other external variables that are happening in your environment, get those out. We need that space from the head to focus on what we're doing musically wise. And that is the opposite of what I was doing during that performance. I was not present in the moment. I was not thinking about the music. And what was happening is I was psyching myself out. I was creating scary scenarios in my head that led me to be way more nervous than I had to be. Okay, I practiced this cello suite a very long time. I've played it for other recitals. They were fine, but it wasn't the fact that I didn't practice or I didn't have performance prep like I just said. It was because mentally I just wasn't there. Okay, so that's my story of one of my most difficult experiences before a recital. I hope you took away something from that, and I hope you don't repeat the same mistake, which is psyching yourself out and trying to sound like the voice of God on your golden cello or whatever it is before the recital. Oh, one last thing. If you thought this was bad, it gets worse. I left my shampoo in the shower. So that's it. That's the end of the story. Now for the Rosin winners. So the first Rosin winner is Antoinette Wigan. I believe that's a French name. Antoinette says, and by the way, I asked the winners to write me something they want to promote or something they want to say on my social media, and this is what they wrote. So this is what Antoinette writes, and I cut it short because I want to make the video a little shorter than it needs to be. So this is Antoinette, and she says, "Hi, my name is Antoinette Wigan. I'm going into my 4th year as a music education major. Congrats. At the University of Las Vegas. I want to inspire kids and not only be a music teacher, but a people builder." Very good. "I want to help build a better future and help others. My favorite bassists are Mickey Young Sung, Xavier Foley, hey, that's me, and Joe Conyers. The man himself, Joe. Mark Stefano. I can't say it. I'm not sure how to say this last name. But he has this really cool website that I checked out, and it's very old school, which I like. It's very nice. lowcbassstudio.com. He is the Evergreen Chamber Orchestra bassist and a former principal bassist with Denver Philharmonic Orchestra. Very, very nice. Very nice. Abby Scoggins. She didn't have much to say, but she said, "I've been playing bass for 2 years and I enjoy it." Nice. And we have Aaron Lawton, who I believe I've met in North Carolina. He goes to the North Carolina School of the Arts. I have only been playing the bass since I was 17. And he says, "I love how music can connect people and bring them together, even if they don't speak the same language." That is a universal language, folks. And he talks about that in his response. He wrote a big one. It was great. He has a lot of passion for the bass. The last winner of the Pops Rosin is Bowen Ha. Bowen says he is currently a freshman at the Juilliard School studying with the great and one and only Tim Cobb. I believe I saw him at the New York Stream Seminar when I did that a very long time ago. If you are an instrumentalist and you're in the USA, you might want to check out that program, the New York Stream Seminar, where you get to play at Carnegie Hall with this orchestra of high-level, talented, young, college-aged musicians. Bowen also has an Instagram that he wants me to promote, so I'm going to do it. Go ahead and follow BowenH_practice to see his daily practicing videos. I'm sure that'll be fun. Okay. Now, before I end this video, for those of you who are playing my etudes and want to see me demonstrate them one by one, go ahead, go to iPlayBass.com. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Click the schedule button here, and you will be taken to a page that looks like this. Go ahead and sign up, make a new reservation on Saturday the 2nd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which translates to 1900 Universal Time. Make a reservation, and you will be able to join the Zoom online class where I demonstrate all the etudes. And you can ask me anything you want of your wildest dreams. Okay, there's 17 slots available. They're filling up fast, so go ahead and sign up. Another way you can go to the schedule is just by typing in iPlayBass.com/class. All right, that is a wrap, and enjoy the rest of your quarantine. Take care.